Greetings, friends, and welcome back to the 3 Minute Horror Show. My name is Ben, I'm your host, and I'm joined with Brandon from the Brandon vs. Movies YouTube channel. We do some film analysis together, and this is the latest entry in our series on the Leprechaun franchise that we have been working through on the channel. We do similar film analysis on Brandon's channel. We've done more on this channel too. If you like hearing what you're hearing, then consider giving us a subscribe. But today we are talking about Leprechaun in the Hood from the year 2000, directed and written by Rob Spira. And remember this, folks, because Rob Spira is a white man. Now remember that as we go forward in this crazy movie. Okay? It starts off with a clever rhyme about a lep in the hood. It should be stated that the cast of this movie is predominantly black. Nearly every character. I think there's one Asian character and one white character. But a white man wrote it. Brandon, what do you think about this movie?
This is the first one I think that is truly bad.
Yeah.
I don't like this one. Like three and four, I have my issues with. Four, I gave a pretty negative rating, but I still like it on some level. It's still kind of fun. This one was pretty boring. There's so much boring stuff. And when I read into it, apparently this didn't start as a Leprechaun script. This started as a separate movie about these young rappers that ripped off a music producer, and then he came after him. That was the story.
Hmm.
The studio owned that, or whatever company owned that script. So they're like, hey, let's just add the Leprechaun into it. And you could tell because the whole movie pretty much works without the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
And again, it's one where it just like it jumps around. There's even a scene where the Asian character you mentioned, the store owner,
Yeah.
he gets killed, and you don't even see the Leprechaun. It's like
Yeah.
Warwick Davis is like sick that day,
It's
so they
completely
film
off
the whole
screen.
thing
Yeah.
POV. You hear his voice, and then you just see a hand come out and grab the guy's throat, and then it cuts. Like everything is so stupidly done in this, and there's just like it'll be like 20 minutes of no Leprechaun, just
Mm.
other stuff happening over it. It's so boring. And then finally you get to see the Leprechaun a bit, and then it jumps back. This one is just bad. There's a few cool parts. Again, anything where the Leprechaun's on screen is pretty decent,
Yeah.
but he's just like he's not there that much. And like I like Ice-T, he's kind of
Yeah.
cool, but even he's not it. Like they'll forget about him for a while, and they'll deal with the Leprechaun. Then they'll forget about the Leprechaun, and then they'll deal with Ice-T again because Ice-T is this record producer, and he rejected. There's these three young rappers, and Ice-T rejected their CD or whatever for their music.
Hmm.
So they decide to get revenge by robbing him. And one of the things this guy owns is the statue of the leprechaun with the medallion around his neck. Which in the opening scene we find out how he got that, which Ben
Hmm.
can explain in a minute. But these boys steal. Of course, they take off the medallion. The leprechaun comes to life, and then from there, it's just a disjointed, weird story. It's just bad.
It should have been the story of Ice-T versus the Leprechaun throughout history, right? It shouldn't have, these three guys, these three annoying children, should not have been included at all, if you ask me. But so,
They're
like
the main
Brandon
characters.
mentioned, sorry?
I said like they're the main. I agree, but they were
Yeah,
the main characters. Like it was all
yeah.
about them, but they were the least interesting part of the movie.
Exactly. I love me some iced tea too. This movie starts off in the 70s, and Ice-T's got a nice afro and everything, and he's wearing a fur coat because he is a pimp. He's a pimp named Onassis. And when people ask, why is this man who's obviously not Greek named Onassis? It's because he owns asses. Get it? Because he's a pimp. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's the first of many cringe humor bits in this movie. But so Ice-T and his pal are looking for something. They're looking for some sort of treasure in the subway system, which I think was probably supposed to be New York, but they're in LA later. But so they're looking under the subway system, and they accidentally crash through a wall. And behind this wall is the statue of the leprechaun from number three, looking exactly the same, jade statue with the medallion on it, and a whole bunch of gold, including this little gold flute, which is going to play a major role in this movie. And we've never seen anything like this gold flute before. Like the leprechaun, I guess, has been holding on to this thing, which is the most powerful artifact in the entire universe. But the one pal takes the medallion off of the leprechaun, and that spells his doom because when you take the medallion off the leprechaun, it kills you. So it kills the guy. Ice-T comes in, he sees this friend is dead. This leprechaun is about to kill him, and then through some cosmic twist of fate, the medallion gets launched up in the air and it lands on the leprechaun's neck. But he doesn't look like he did before. He doesn't look like a jade statue that looks pretty good. Now he looks like dog shit. He looks terrible. I don't know what changed in the 5 seconds that he was back to life there, but so yeah. Then we're flash forward to the future, and we've got these three terrible rappers, and they want to be positive rappers, and that's a lofty goal. Like that's great if you want to be a positive rapper in the early 2000s in Compton, which is where they are. These guys talk like characters from Boys in the Hood. They're constantly dropping N-bombs on each other. They're talking like um, gangsta stereotypes from the movies. And remember that a white man wrote the script, folks. Pretty bad stuff. But yeah, these guys are not great rappers. They accidentally blow up the DJ equipment that's at the competition that they're trying to win to go to Las Vegas to actually be real rappers. So they owe these guys money to replace the equipment, and they have no money. Like these guys are bad at stuff, and apparently one is a virgin, and they bust his ball. Every single character in this movie busts his balls about being a virgin through the entire movie. It's pretty wild. Like
including his friend's grandma.
yeah, even the friend's grandma. I was about to say that blind grandma. Are you still a virgin? What's wrong with you? It's weird. But so these kids are trying to figure out what they're gonna do. They steal a guitar out of a garbage dumpster and try and sell it to two different pawn shops, saying it was Jimi Hendrix's from the year after he died, because they didn't do their research. I guess the internet was expensive in 2000.
It's like, well, why did they even have to give a year? Why couldn't they just said it's Jimi
Yeah,
Hendrix guitar?
yeah,
Period.
exactly. Super dumb. But so they run into Ice-T. Ice-T is a rap producer who is fabulously wealthy, I guess, from his interaction with the leprechaun, and he took all the gold. He's fabulously wealthy, and he's got the flute always around his wrist. He's always carrying it. And these kids manage to talk their way, they socially engineer their way into meeting with him at his house and playing their mixtape for him. He doesn't like it very much, and to add insult to the whole thing, he's got the leprechaun statue in some glass in his office, and the one kid that's a virgin kept pawing at it. So he was like, get out of here, you idiots. You guys are losers. Go home." And as Brandon mentioned, they decided that they're going to get revenge. And they get that revenge by coming up with a plan to rob the guy in the most gangsta way possible. But when they go to rob the guy, would you not think that he'd have some security? Wouldn't you? It was so weird.
For two reasons. For
Yeah.
one, he has a lot of expensive jewels and expensive stuff. But two, he has a leprechaun in his office that if you mess with it and take that thing off, it's going to come and kill him.
Yeah.
So you think he would just,
He's
first
got
of all,
a
like, why would he throw that thing in the bottom of a lake? You know,
he's got a leprechaun's entire fortune, and he doesn't have any security on his house whatsoever. And he left his own gun in his desk drawer, which is very weird. I don't think that that's something that would happen. But anyways, they're busy robbing this guy, and they take the necklace off of they take the medallion off the leprechaun statue, and then Ice-T walks into the place, and Postman P, I believe that's his name, Postmaster P. I don't know.
yeah, Postmaster.
The P for positivity shoots him. So they think that they've killed him. They grab up everything they can, including the flute off of his wrist, and they make their escape. Now, the leprechaun is alive. Ice-T is alive because the bullet hit his medallion. And they have a little interaction with each other right then and there. Don't they? They have an interaction
I think
right.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, Ice-T. Yeah, because the last time I saw you was a long time ago or something like that. But yeah, because that's the part where Ice-T and the leprechaun share a joint.
Yeah,
So,
which is whenever you talk about this movie with people that have seen it, that's
yeah,
the scene they reference, and it's kind
yeah.
of like, haha, it's funny, Ice-T smokes a joint with Leprechaun,
Yeah.
and it was an amusing scene, but it takes more than a 15-second scene
Yeah, to make a
to
movie.
to make a movie, and that's honestly probably the best part of the movie, which is pretty
Yeah.
sad.
And the leprechaun cuts his finger off. I should mention now that this leprechaun, this iteration of leprechaun, is back to doing limericks all the time. So he's back to doing rhyming couplet, not limericks, rhyming couplets all the time. Uh, unless he's high, I guess, because later on he doesn't. So these kids, they decide that they're going to start selling stuff to the local pawn shops. And that means that we have more potential targets for the leprechaun as he tries to get his gold back from these guys. The first pawn shop that they go to, it's an older guy. His name is Jackie D, and they get a bunch of money from him and the stereo equipment to replace what they broke at the other place at the competition. As soon as they leave that place, Jackie D goes outside and he's met with his ex Jackie C. Jackie C and Jackie D. And Jackie C is the leprechaun and she kills him. And she kind of kills him off screen too. You don't see what happens to him. You just see that they're making out and then he's dead, right? Next place he goes to is
Yeah,
to,
they kind of cheaped out.
yeah, they go to Chow's pawn shop. And this is the one that Brandon was talking about. They get some more money from Chow. And as soon as they leave Chow's place, a clawed hand kills Chow. And you don't see anything other than that. But what was interesting about Chow's house or Chow's pawn shop is they were showing jars of Chow's specimens. Chow has weird organic specimens back there. And I swear to God that Mitten Hand's face was in one.
Oh, I noticed that.
Yeah, because it was showing this kind of part of a head, and it looked like Mitten Hand's face. So I think that he had Mitten Hand's face in a jar. Which, how did that happen? Did he go back in time? I don't know. It's weird,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That one was 100 years in the future. Yeah.
Yeah. So the boys go to meet with another record producer. This one is a drag queen. And everything about what happens next is offensive. Every single thing. Everything that involves this character, the way that the leprechaun meets the character, and it says an offensive rhyme about not wanting to play with fruit. Um, Everything is bad with this. Um, Meanwhile, at the same time, Postmaster P has discovered that if you blow this flute, um, it almost seems like it stops time the first time he does it. But what it's actually doing is it's making everyone pay attention and putting them under your suggestion. So this is one of the most powerful things ever, right? Because if you're a terrible rapper and you blow this flute, it'll make people think you're a good rapper. And that's exactly what these guys do.
Which is weird because in Leprechaun 4, we had the Marine dress up in drag and do that whole performance. And now we got some other similar character. And at this, I don't know if it was something at this time, because this is around the time that the movie White Chicks came out, with the
Yeah.
Williams brothers.
Mhm.
I don't know why in this Leprechaun movie, two of the two main rappers, they decide that the Leprechaun, for some reason, he's been possessing all these women that are
Yeah.
like half leprechauns with green eyes.
Yeah,
So
it's
he's
weird.
surrounded by women. So they're like, oh, in order to get close to the leprechaun to kill him, we're gonna dress up like women.
Yeah.
Like some the same problem with that movie White Chicks. Like if you're a big muscular man with a square jaw,
Yeah.
you cannot, like, how do they think you can just throw on some makeup and a mini skirt and you're gonna look like a beautiful woman that who's gonna fool, and like no one's gonna notice? It's just so ridiculous if this is the only way. Like why didn't they just sneak in or
Yeah.
hold them at gunpoint? It's just ridiculous how they I
Because
don't
they
know.
had to get him to smoke a four-leaf clover joint with them, Brandon, and he wouldn't
Oh right,
just do that if you snuck in. Because there's a
yeah.
four-leaf clover joint in this movie, folks. It's weird. They decide that they're gonna, first of all, they go visit the grandmother, the blind grandmother, and she makes fun of the guy for being a virgin, and that's funny. Then they go to the church, and the church guy is a gross guy. He's one of these gross guys that doesn't need to be a gross guy, but he is. They decide he decides that they can stay there and get sanctuary from Mac Daddy, who is Ice-T's character's name. I had to think about it for a minute. If they perform a song. They perform the worst rendition of Jesus Loves Me that was ever made. And everybody wants to leave until they play the flute, and then it's the greatest version of Jesus Loves Me ever, where the Jesus loves me because I got a hoe or something like that, and it was it's supposed to be gangsta, this version, and then Coolio walks in, and Coolio doesn't say a word. He just walks in, looks at them, and then walks out. Why was
Yeah,
Coolio there?
I
Coolio,
wonder.
rest in peace, King.
Yeah, it's like they asked him to do a cameo and they offered him a bunch of money, and he's like,
Mhm.
"All right, I'll come there. You got 10 minutes. That's
Yeah,
it. I'll walk
exactly.
in there, get me on camera, and then I'm leaving." Because
Yeah.
yeah, oh, I thought I'm like he's gonna do something like the leprechaun's gonna kill him or you'll do
Or
something, and then it's like no, that's it. He
I thought
just
he was going to
leaves.
rap with them. I thought he was going to get up there and do the Jesus Loves Me with them, like do a verse. But no, nothing. Oh boy. It's a big mess. And I'm really shrinking it down here, folks.
As I say, like the issue is that like these things have happen, but it's almost like they just took like 10 different storylines, put them together, and then picked random scenes.
Yeah.
Because like for a while, like Mac Daddy, Ice T is trying to kill these three boys because they ripped him off.
Hmm.
So there'll be a scene where he's shooting at them. Somehow they get away, or he'll corner them and then leave for some reason, and then he's just not seen for a while. Now we're back to
Yeah.
Leprechaun movie, and there's a Leprechaun stuff going on, and nothing really ties together. And it's kind of like what happened to Mac Daddy. There's even a scene where I think the writer or the director realized like, oh shit, like this isn't going to make sense because we're ditching storylines for too long. So there's a part where one of the boys is like, oh, we got to be careful because remember Mac Daddy's out there somewhere and he
Yeah.
wants to get us. It's kind of like don't forget about him. We'll eventually get back to that storyline.
They do that a
Uh,
couple of times where they say, well, we can't forget Mac Daddy. He's out there. And every time they do, one of the characters picks up a gun and says, I don't care about Mac Daddy or something like that.
yeah,
It's weird. Eventually we get down to like eventually the two friends are killed and Postmaster P is the only one left. And there's the big confrontation between Mac Daddy, this guy, and the Leprechaun. And this is when he's still in a dress, I believe, because they had just made the Leprechaun smoke a four-leaf clover joint. P shoots Mac Daddy three times and it looks like he's dead. And then he gets confronted by the Leprechaun. The Leprechaun's coming over to kill him. But Mac Daddy's not dead. He's alive and he has the medallion up. Okay? He's got the medallion up like this. The leprechaun doesn't see him. He decides he's going to hit the leprechaun with a chair instead of just putting the goddamn medallion over his neck and ending the whole thing. So stupid. Oh
not to
boy.
mention this
Yeah.
this leprechaun can come back from jumping on a grenade. I mean, like obviously my daddy doesn't know that, but he knows that this is like a magical creature with magical powers.
Yeah.
Yet he says, well, he thinks that he could defeat him by smashing him with a wooden chair.
Yeah.
Like that's going to finish him off.
He couldn't even finish off Postmaster P by hitting him with a chair. And he's not even a magical creature. So stupid. Anyway, Ice-T's character gets a hole blown right through him, which is the second time they do that in the movie. I th thought they could have come up with something a little bit more imaginative for Mac Daddy, but he got the same as his bodyguard, I guess. Just a hole blown right through you.
Yeah.
And then you think that the whole thing happens again where the medallion goes flying up in the air.
Yeah, they use that same trick twice.
Yeah.
Like,
But you think it landed on him, but it didn't because all of a sudden Postmaster P is rapping again and everybody's watching him and he's like the biggest rapper in the world, but he's got green eyes. So he has to wear sunglasses all the time because the leprechaun's controlling him.
yeah, so
Movie over.
this is the I can't remember the next couple, but so far it's the only one where the leprechaun is not defeated.
Yeah.
He doesn't die. He wins. He's there at the end. At the end.
Leprechaun wins, friends. All right, Brandon, what'd you give this movie?
This is the first one. I didn't like. It was just
Yeah.
boring. There was not like even part 3 and 4. There's things I didn't like about it. I think they were so good, but there were cool kills. There was some imagination to it. This one there really wasn't. Like I can't even really think of one cool kill to be honest. Like they were all just plain and boring. And yeah,
Well, you
I give
didn't
it.
see a lot of them. Like when he killed the drag character, you knew that he was clawing at her, but you didn't see anything.
Yeah, and that was stupid. Like The
Hmm.
boys are like they peek in the room and it looks like the leprechaun's having sex with the drag queen under a blanket,
Yeah.
and then we cut up close and it's like, oh, he's actually like scratching him and killing him, or like
Yeah.
it just wasn't. There was nothing memorable in this one.
Yeah.
And I have to mention too, it's just, I don't know if anyone else would notice this, but I like Ice-T as an actor. Like,
Hmm.
actually pretty cool, like in SVU and stuff.
Yeah.
In the opening scene, for some reason, his acting is so bad. I don't know if it's because the dialogue is bad, but it was, or maybe he was told to do it that way, but he was acting so cheesy and stupid. I was like, what? I don't remember it being this bad. Like, shame on
Mm.
you, Ice T. But when they skip ahead to modern day, he starts acting like normal and good again. So I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but that first scene I found to be very, very weird. But I would give
Yeah.
this 3.5.
Okay. I'm very close with you on this one. I give it a four. I didn't like it. I thought there were so many, it was offensive in so many different ways. Uh, I mean, from the way that the characters talked to each other, from the way they behaved, it was stereotypical. It was garbage. It was low effort. They could have hired a black person to help them with the script if that's what they wanted to do, and have them talk like actual people talk and not just cartoon characters. And the whole stuff, everything that involved the drag character and the characters coming in drag later was just, oh, it was just a cringe festival. I really didn't like this movie, even though I like Ice-T a lot. The Ice-T parts were great. Should have had more Ice-T and more Warwick Davis together and forget
Yeah,
everybody
and
else.
honestly, that's what they set up at the beginning.
Yeah,
Ice T is the one that discovered the leprechaun and it killed his friend,
yeah,
and he temporarily defeated him. It's like, oh, they're setting it up that he's the leprechaun's going to come back and they'll have some kind of showdown. Instead, they're like, nah, forget him. Let's focus on these three other guys,
mhm,
and then the whole thing just gets so convoluted. And I get it that Ice T was more famous. He probably cost a lot, so they
yeah.
couldn't have him in the movie as much. Same with the leprechaun, Warwick Davis. Yeah, I just wish they did done better with it.
It almost looked like there was a throwback to two as well when they had him trapped in one of those iron safes, but he was able to get out of that no problem. So,
Yeah, he just got out of that. He didn't have to get
yeah,
help. He just escaped.
yep. He's just like, oh, now I'm over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, folks. That's the end of Leprechaun 5, Leprechaun in the Hood. But join us next time for Leprechaun 6, which is Back to the Hood. Hopefully that one's better, but I'm not holding my breath. I guess we'll see. As always, you can click the subscribe button in the bottom corner of the video. It's probably that corner because I'm mirrored again. But you can you can subscribe to both of our channels at the same time. They're going to come up right on top of each other. You can click them within a second to subscribe to our channels. We hope that you do. It costs you $0. You can come back and hear more conversations like this. We love breaking down movies for you folks, and we know a lot of you like it based on the comments and the engagement that we get. So come in, share your thoughts, share your opinions. We love to hear it, and we'll see you next time.